All right, who's ready for a fun project? This little game is what you're going to be building this month. It's a little harder than I made it look. Maybe not once you get used to it. But you'll have to set your own rules. So I'm going to set this aside so you can still see it, but we're going to build our own. So for project number 50 here, the hook and ring game, can you believe it? 50 projects? All right, you're going to have 4 pieces of wood. You're going to have this piece. It's got a slot in it, and if you look really close at the other end from the slot, there's a tiny little drill hole. That's this top piece here. So we got this piece. We got this rectangular piece, which seems like it could go anywhere. However, I want you to look, because on one side of it, towards one end of it, there is a hole. That hole will be important. And then we've got the base. Now the base is the big rectangular piece, and it just has this, this one groove in it. This one has a lot of character, so I pulled this one aside especially because I thought this would be fun with this knot in here. You're going to have a shiny metal ring. It's about 1 inch in diameter. You're going to have a shiny hook. Yours may be a different color. And then you're going to have a little tiny shiny eye, threaded eye. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this long skinny piece and I'm going to find the one hole in it. That hole is more towards one end. That end is where this hook goes, and that is the bottom and the front. So I'm going to find this little hole. I'm going to get my pliers out. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can thread this in there. Just push it in a little bit. I can twist it pretty well with my fingers. You can take and you can put like a screwdriver in there and turn it. You can take a pair of pliers and you can hold it and use some leverage here. And I will say that the screw on the hook is a little longer than the thickness of this wood, unfortunately. So if you screw it all the way in, it may stick out the other side. So I'm going to back this off 1 turn. It's okay if it's not all the way in. I'd rather have it sticking out a little bit than poking out the other side. I can set that aside now. The next one I need is the top. We're going to do this little ring. So this one, you can stick a screwdriver in or anything and twist it. We're going to scoot that in there, get that started. This one's a little harder for me to turn with my fingers because it's just, you have less leverage, but I can still do it. And again, this one, if you screw it all the way through, it may go all the way through, but you don't need to go in that far, just far enough. So now that we've got those done, the only tool we need right now is glue. And you can use whatever kind of glue you want. I'm going to put a little bit of glue in here. Hopefully you can see that. And a little bit of glue in this one. Hopefully you can see that. Then what we're going to do, I'm going to put it together the right way. This is the base. It's facing the right position. We want this hook towards the bottom. That's what the ring gets caught on. Push it in there, get a little bit of squeeze out. That tells me I got enough glue. I'm happy about that. And then the top, we can lay it on its side. We can flip it over. I'm going to flip it over so you can see what I'm doing. Put that in there, push it down, a little more squeeze out. Now that we've got that, really probably don't want to start playing with it aggressively until that glue dries. It will hold, but this piece could come loose. You may want to set it on its side to dry. You may just want to leave it for a half an hour or an hour and let it dry like this. I'm going to go ahead and tie the string to this one, even though it's still a little loose, but we're not going to play on it right now. So you're going to take your string, you're going to put it through the top eye, and you're going to tie a knot. And some of the string's a little slippery, so even tying a nice square knot sometimes is hard to keep it to tie. So you may want to triple knot it. And if you want, you can take one other tool. You can take a pair of scissors, if they're not as dull as these, and you can cut that excess string off. Then what you want to do is stand it back up. Put this so you can see it. What I like to do is put the hook put the ring on the hook, and then I like to take the string and put it through the ring. And you don't want it really tight like this, because then you can't even get the hook off, let alone get it on. You want it kind of tight, but you want the hook still kind of, like that's too loose. But now maybe I can tighten it up just a little bit. Try that. It's a little too tight, somewhere in between. That's pretty good, and you can see how the hook's hanging on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this knot off. You can also tie this piece first and then tie the top later, or tie the top second. If you don't want to have this much string hanging off and have to cut it, you can have it hanging off the top. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it. So now we have this one all set. That's a little aggressive. I cheated. I put my hand too close, but I wanted to make sure that it will hook on there. Really, you should start way back here. But you see how hard that is. You get good at it with practice. Another cool thing, if you have two, you can have two players going at the same time. Get yourself a little piece of paper, keep score, see who the better ring tosser is. So I hope you guys enjoy this project. This is project number 50. This one was a fun one to make, and hopefully a fun one for you guys to play. And we will see you soon. Thanks, and stay warm out there.